past, but keep on reminding people and dwelling on the past with no meaningful agenda for the future. So it's a very clear distinction. When you hear them talk, they'll talk of we are the greatest reformers, something that we all did together, and that is history. They talk of all these people fight each other. They're talking of the past. We're saying we know what happened in the past, but we are now preparing for a better future. They're dwelling on the past, reminding people to raise sentimental, consideration based on the past. That's not what we're doing.
What are you doing?
We are recognizing what happened in the past, and we are posing the question, what shall we do to improve our situation in Kenya for a better tomorrow?
Several of our viewers,
that's the difference.
Several of our viewers raised the recent past. Timothy in Kitale, the minister is playing with Kenyan minds. If Uhuru and Ruto are sure that their union is for peace between the two communities, they should first settle the IDPs back in their original land. This from Lemayan in Kajiado. Does Mwakwere know that people died, many properties were destroyed, women were raped? Does he condone these acts when he says the ICC will deny us democracy and we Kenyans through Parliament said we want the ICC? Ngoga in Nairobi, if Uhuru and Ruto have united, why then do we still have IDPs in camps?
Now, that is a question that I'm even shocked that an individual would ask at this moment in time.
Several.
The government has taken a lot of initiatives, spent a lot of money to address the question of IDPs. Yes, those who are injured, those who are maimed, those who are raped, those who are will have their cases addressed by our courts and even the international court. Initially, the country had no confidence in the judiciary. But we have sorted that one out. We have a judiciary which has presented itself in a manner that has created greater confidence in the minds of Kenyans. We are going to use the courts to address legal issues. We will not take everybody to the ICC. There are only 4 people going, but those who committed crimes are thousands. And we have, the one who made that comment, I wish to know his name and number because I'll call him. He's trying to project us as people who are heartless. No, we are seriously concerned. And would like
if you're concerned, you would not say that the International Criminal Court will be interfering with our democracy.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That is one of the people that supports that ICC. He's a Kenyan as well.
Those are 3 people so far.
The interference of the ICC, if we elect either or both Mr. Ruto and Mr. Uhuru, has nothing to do with the question of cases being presented to courts of law. Cases will be presented to courts of law. Cases will be considered by legally accepted courts, whether international or local. It has got nothing directly to do with the fact that we choose our leaders democratically. We are mixing 2 issues here. I'll be denied my democratic right if they remove my leader, if he happens to be one of the suspects.
We are not mixing issues up. You are.
But
because if your
and
leader
then that is done with a threat that if we elect them, then we are going to face 1, 2, 3.
Mr.
Maybe there will be
Mwakwere.
no aid. That is threat to Kenyans.
Mr. Mwakwere, these people are answering
Those
charges.
are hate speeches.
No. You have had experience with hate speech, so you know what hate speech is. So it's a fallacy to come here and tell us.
First of all, we'll come to that matter.
No, it's a fallacy to come here and start accusing everybody who shows concern about this country's reputation of hate speech. Okay, these people are accused of grave crimes against the public that they want to represent, against the public that they're supposed to be defending. And the public is writing in, asking. Now, there are those who support them. There are those who will choose to vote them regardless of the criminal charges they face. But there are others who are concerned about electing leaders or having leaders who are accused and who could be convicted of these crimes.
If they're elected as our leaders, I think Kenyans will have sent a message to the international community too, that these people whom you are taking as suspects are innocent. That is the interpretation.
No, not
but
at all.
It does
Not
not
at
mean.
all.
Oh yes.
Not at all.
Oh yeah.
How can they be? How can they be innocent and there's pending cases?
Once they get their 50%
But not only that, you've told us about the reality of our voting patterns. You know, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're one of ours, as long as you're from my community.
But for goodness sake, if there are people who suffered most in 2007, then it's the Kikuyus and Kalenjins. Others suffered all right. Yes. I'm not excluding them. And when these two communities have come together, say, now look, let's not dwell on the past, let's prepare for the future.
Is it the communities?
This country is more important than individuals or even institutions as such.
Mr. Mwakwere, your application of the law there is must say unacceptable.
Our concerns.
Crimes are committed against individuals. Those people who lost, who were killed, whose property was destroyed, who lost their shambas and so forth, are not communities. They're individuals around whom justice must be built. That is why there are these cases.
But it's individuals who make communities. You cannot. It's individuals who make communities. So you cannot separate the two. Maybe I don't disagree with you. Yes. I'm only emphasizing the fact that yes, they're individuals, but in the final analysis, it's individuals who make communities.
It would be nice if those people who suffered this came and said, we have forgiven each other, we lost this, but we don't mind, we are building on the future. But these people are nowhere in the picture.
Asking for restitution.
No, the courts must do their work and give their judgment. Those cases must be heard in our courts of law.
What about their case? Their own cases? The two?
The two.
Well,
I told you, they will comply. As individuals, they will comply.
I put it to you.
If they will be required to go to The Hague, they will go. But then the point is, if 100% of Kenyans say, now look, these are our leaders, and then the international community says they must be removed from Kenya and be tried at The Hague, don't you take it that the international community will be interfering with the democratic rights of Kenyans?
I take it that, in fact, what you are saying in a circumlocutor's way is that these people are running for office. Once they take office, they'll use that as a defense mechanism, not to go to the ICC. In short, that is the position, in fact.
No, I think maybe we did not communicate as such.
Let him answer the question, we will move on.
My answer is the two gentlemen are suspects. The two gentlemen have not refused to go to The Hague to answer those charges. What I'm saying is Kenyans will choose their leaders democratically, and I also would like to remind the international community that this country is bigger than individuals, and if the majority of Kenyans have chosen their leaders, please don't deny us our democratic right of enjoying leadership from the people whom we shall have chosen. Whether it will be Mr. Kenyatta or Mr. Ruto or Mr. Mudavadi or any other person, please don't interfere with our democratic rights. We would like our leaders to lead us.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on because, of course, you may be facing hate speech charges. We thought you had been cleared, but then the Muhuri group, the lobby group, came up and said they hadn't quite, they'd forgiven you, but they still wanted to pursue the case through the courts. Where's that matter now?
I don't know. I'm hearing it from you now here. No. I'm a stranger to what you're saying. No. As far as I'm concerned,
actually, let's address this quickly. How did you sort this matter out? How did you negotiate? Did you pay them and say, Chief, you guys, I mean, we've got to move forward.
Everybody knows that.
Or what happened?
Everybody knows that Chirau Ali Mwakwere does not have that kind of money. He's as clean as a pin. He has lived.
Which kind of money?
He has lived on his salary and the little farming that he does at home.
Yeah.
You know.
So what happened? How did you sort this out? It's very rare in this country that somebody accused of a crime goes and sorts out with the complainant and they come to court to register or agree, register some sort of settlement which the court accepts.
I would be very happy to expound on that. But you've just told me that there is still a case. I don't discuss matters that I report.
Actually, answer
I was not. That's why I said I was not aware of what you're telling me.
Answer David's question, and then I will bring it back to that development. Start us off with where you are and how you...
Could you repeat your question?
How did you sort out of court a matter that was criminal? The way we know it, it's like what you have set is a precedent that we have not known in this country. Okay. I can kill somebody and go and meet the relatives and agree that these murder charges should not hold, and we go to court and say, let's drop this matter. The complainants have refused. Yet this is an offense, Mwakwere versus the Republic. How did this happen?
Now, to equate that with the murder is...
No, it's just the fact that they are all criminal. They are not civil matters. That's why I'm just...
This shows that Kenyans are people who are considerate, understanding, and advocate for peace and harmony amongst themselves. That when mistakes are made, it is important that we create a healing process.
We have 5 minutes
what
to
they
end the
did,
show, so.
what they did,
yes,
contributes to that.
What happened?
What happened is eventually we accepted apologies and advanced on that to prove to Kenyans that certain problems, some problems need not be sorted out in a court of law. After all, if it can be sorted out of court in a manner that creates greater harmony, understanding, and peace, yes, and cohesion amongst communities, that is truly the best way.
Were you really apologetic?
Well, what's the difference? I don't know why you're asking that question.
I don't know, because you know you're a politician.
What is happening proves it all, because we are living as brothers and sisters in the communities where I come from.
What's your view about MRC?
MRC, what my view on what? MRC for what?
Mombasa Republican Council and
their
the politics.
And what they represent.
What they stand for. The problems they highlight are the same that I've been highlighting for years. Questions regarding land, education, health, employment, marginalization of some sort over the years. I totally agree with those concerns. What I disagree with is the intervention, the intervention modes that will address those problems. The approach is totally different from mine. Mine is solution by discussion at a round table like this. Theirs is better known by themselves, but I totally disagree with their intervention mode.
Just to,
and I also totally disagree with their position that a section of the country is not part of this great nation. That to me is also totally wrong, and the conclusion is totally unjustified.
Okay.
So you cannot balance them?
I told you.
I know some politicians.
I told you I live on my salaries and the little farming that I'm doing.
Mr. Mwakwere, the Coast Province has for a long time complained of lacking major role in the national political arena. You, since the late Maitha passed, you had attempted, or you were perceived to be filling that position of the leader of the coastal people, especially the indigenous people, the Mijikenda. You bid for running mate for Uhuru, for William Ruto.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden again you fizzle out. And the people at the coast disappointed that none of you is aiming high enough.
There's a rivalry between
in this, all these political alignments.
The people of the coast are not disappointed. I've always given them my message that the coast must be in government. As simple as that. Because all we want is development, meaningful development, together with the rest of Kenya. But if you're not in government, you want to be seen to be opposing the government or creating problems, surely you reap very little.
Right, but why are you not going for the big seat? to get government itself rather than just being inside.
Bigger seat than being in government.
Being president.
I think being in government is the biggest seat. You know, it's a question of whether somebody cracked a joke the other day. He said he'd rather be a total man than being a president. There's something like that. But that's besides the point here now. What I'm saying here is the most important thing for Coastals to do is to ensure that they're in government. And I would like to lead them into government. I've always been in government. Some did not agree with me, but they have all agreed that the most important achievement is to be in government.
So
not
in this next government, what do you expect to be?
I'll be one of the major decision makers. And I'm sure nothing will be done without consultation of some sort that will involve
What
me.
are you vying for?
And that in itself brings the cost into government.
What are you vying for?
I will settle for a senatorial position. I'm vying to be a senator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we are out of time. And so our thanks to the Honorable Chirau Ali Mwakwere, the Environment Minister and Matuga MP, for being our guest this morning. Our thanks also to panelists Mutegi Njau and David Makali. I'm Udwa Kamimo. Enjoy the rest of your week.